This past weekend, Arlington played host to the first 250SX Triple Crown race of the night in Monsterenergy Supercross, delivering intense battles and unexpected drama. The race saw multiple lead changes, beginning with Joe Shimoda taking the early advantage. However, a costly mistake in the sand section led to a tip-over, handing the lead to Jordon Smith and Cody Schock, who engaged in a fierce battle for the top spot. Eventually, Smith gained control, pulling away to claim victory in the opening race of the Triple Crown. However, the celebration was short-lived for the Triumph Racing Factory team, as they suffered yet another setback in their inaugural season. With Jalek Swoll and Styles Robertson already sidelined, it was now Jordon Smith, their only race winner so far, who found himself on the injury list. The 30-year-old veteran suffered a brutal crash during one of the Triple Crown races, forcing him to withdraw and head to the hospital for further evaluation. In a statement following the incident, Smith expressed his disappointment, saying, "Hey guys, of course I'm really disappointed that I crashed so hard. I felt good and everything was going well up until then. Now I'm in the hospital. Unfortunately, I suffered a punctured lung and possibly some broken ribs. Everything's fine, it will heal, and I'll be back as soon as possible." With just a week's break before the next round on March 8th in Indianapolis, an East/West showdown, it remains uncertain whether Smith will recover in time to line up at the gate. Meanwhile, Redbull KTM Factory Racing's Julian Beaumer faced a challenging night at Arlington, finishing 6th overall in the 250SX West Triple Crown event. His results: 6th in Race 1, 8th in Race 2, and 4th in Race 3, totaled 18 points, marking a significant shift in the championship standings. The night began with promise, as Beaumer initially ran near the front in Race 1, but a crash in the sand section during a battle with Joe Shimoda dropped him back to 8th before he recovered to 6th. In Race 2, a rough start put him outside the top 10 early on, and another fall in the sand while battling Shimoda relegated him to 8th place. Race 3, however, showed flashes of his potential. Beaumer ran as high as 2nd, engaged in an intense back-and-forth with Hayden Deegan, and ultimately settled for 4th in the final race of the night. The biggest blow for Beaumer wasn't just the tough races, it was losing the championship lead. With Deegan dominating the night with a 1-1-2 score, the Star Racing Yamaha rider overtook Beaumer in the standings and now holds a 6-point advantage. Adding to Beaumer's struggles, it was reported by Lewis Phillips that the KTM rider had dislocated his shoulder earlier in the day during timed qualifying. Despite the injury, he pushed through to salvage as many points as possible, but the setback was costly. Now, with only a week to recover before 250SX East resumes at Daytona, followed by the highly anticipated East-West showdown in Indianapolis, Beaumer will need to be at his best to stay in the title fight. Just when the night couldn't get any crazier, two of the most aggressive riders in Supercross reignited their long-standing rivalry in dramatic fashion. Jason Anderson and Justin Barcia, both known for their take-no-prisoners riding styles, went at it, trading aggressive block passes before ultimately taking each other down. It all started when Barcia made a hard pass on Anderson in the final turn, only for Anderson to retaliate in the very next corner, sending both riders to the ground. The incident resulted in a written warning from the AMA for Anderson, but that didn't stop him from bouncing back in the final race, where he put on an impressive performance to battle with Ken Roxen and Chase Sexton for 2nd place. Barcia, meanwhile, recovered to finish 4th after making yet another aggressive move, this time on Sexton in the last turn. In the premier 450SX class, tensions were already high before the gate even dropped. Cooper Webb, who had only qualified 7th, was looking to improve his lap time in the final moments of the session when he found himself tangled up with Jason Anderson. Unhappy with Webb's move, Anderson made sure to send a message, forcing Webb wide and ruining his last chance at a faster lap time. The result? Webb would have to settle for the 7th gate pick in the Triple Crown, while Chase Sexton, who also had a rough qualifying session, lined up 5th. But when the racing started, Webb proved why he's one of the most mentally tough riders on the grid. Despite the less-than-ideal gate pick, he put together 3 solid races to emerge victorious in the Triple Crown format. His consistency allowed him to edge out Sexton and, more importantly, claim sole possession of the points lead. With that win, Webb now takes the red plate heading into the grueling Daytona Supercross next weekend, a track where he has historically performed well. As the championship battle continues to heat up, Arlington once again proved to be a pivotal round in the Monsterenergy Supercross season. With injuries, rivalries, and championship shakeups dominating the headlines, the next round in Daytona is shaping up to be another must-watch event.